these are like gold to me right now, which is great. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel in which we make everyday lifestyle changes for a happy, healthier life. So because I'm pregnant, a lot of these videos, of course, will center around pregnancy. So men, if you want to stay and watch because you have family members or somebody in your life that's pregnant, such as a girlfriend or a wife, and you want to take some value out of it, stick around. Otherwise, ladies, here we go. I'm going to talk about my symptoms. Now these are my common symptoms that I have that I've been able to manage. I'm also going to bring up how I handled them through my first pregnancy versus how I'm handling the symptoms now. Mostly because I want you to realize that every pregnancy is different, every person is different, and every person's pregnancy is different. So I figure this is a great way to show how much different. And yes, it is November and I'm wearing my Haunted Half shirt because it fits. And when you're pregnant and you're cheap and you don't want to buy clothes that you're going to wear for literally 5 months, you just wear what fits. And also, Halloween is never over with for me, just saying. So let's get into it. The main symptom most women probably have to deal with, especially during their first trimester, is morning sickness. I hate the term morning sickness. I get why they call it morning sickness because most women have to deal with it in the morning, but my first pregnancy, it was not morning sickness, it was 24/7 sickness. And so during my first pregnancy, the way I handled it was high fat foods. It had to be high fat foods. It couldn't just be carbs. I couldn't just sit there and eat crackers while I was sick. With my first pregnancy, it had to be deep fried or greasy burger or something like that. That's the only way I felt decent. And then I was constantly eating. If I felt nauseous, I had to eat or else I was going to throw up. And then also I had Prego Pops, which is like suckers that they have that have items in them that help with morning sickness symptoms. Now, one thing is my morning sickness has pretty much, it ceases to exist. There are times where I do get sick and nauseous and little things can set me off. Things like my daughter doing something completely disgusting, like hawking a loogie into the sink, will make me throw up. And she thinks it's absolutely hilarious and I don't find it funny whatsoever. But little things can set me off. But for the most part, I don't have morning sickness. I do have to eat within a few hours of getting up in the morning. Otherwise, I'm perfectly fine. I don't have nausea and whatnot. But when I did have morning sickness, especially during the first trimester, carbs is the only thing that made me feel good or decent. So I got into a routine of eating cereal every single morning, which you don't realize how little carbs you eat until you start eating carbs again. And then you just balloon up. Like you just gain weight instantly once you start eating carbs that you never ate before. So it kind of shows how carbs, are one of those things for me that is just not something that I can really have a ton of. I can have some in moderation for sure, but I can't have a ton. My body doesn't like it per se. And then I just told my doctor, I was like, I can't do the constantly eating thing. I can't do all this time being sick 24/7. I have a job to do, I have work, and I have to be able to focus. So I ended up getting a prescription. The problem with the prescription is that it would make me drowsy. Well, that doesn't work when I have a job where I might have to drive. So I couldn't operate a car and be on this medication. So I'm like, what's the point of this medication? Take it before bed. But that's not when I'm sick. I'm sick in the morning and during the day. So I told him this isn't working. They said, you know, because I had to try it first because of my health insurance plan. So then they went to the next thing on the list, and that medicine gave me all different symptoms, but it would work in a pinch. So when I needed it the most, that's when I took that. So that did help. So carbs and prescription this time around. Otherwise, now second trimester in, I'm really not nearly as bad as what I was during the first trimester, which is great. Because the last thing I want to do is gain 60 something pounds like I did my first pregnancy, because I had to eat constantly because I was constantly sick. My second symptoms, most common symptom, was food aversion. At least this time around I have a really bad food aversion, but during my first pregnancy, the only thing that really triggered me was vanilla, the smell of vanilla. So I didn't really have a food aversion back then. I could eat whatever I wanted back then. I would mostly focus again on fatty foods because that's what made me feel the best. But this time around, I have a really bad food aversion. It's to water, and I don't know why that is. I love drinking water. I love my water room temperature. I could have a gallon of water just hang out with me all day long, and I'd be able to drink that whole thing all day long and not have a single issue with it. Now I cannot do that. It makes me nauseous, makes me instantly sick if I have too much room temperature water. So I have to drink it the way my body will accept it, because it's something I have to have. I have to have water. You have to have water to function. I drink it the only way that it will let me, and that is it has to be ice cold. And I drink it like I chug it. Like I'll like take a big gulp of it like I'm taking a shot of something. I don't just sit there and sip on it throughout the day. I have to just take big swigs and gulp, and then let my stomach settle, and then I take another drink. And it really sucks because I love drinking water. I hate feeling parched. I hate feeling dehydrated, and it's honestly not that good for the baby and whatnot, but I do what I have to do to be able to drink water and get enough water intake throughout the day. Another symptom that I have had is migraines. I did not have migraines my first pregnancy. Didn't have headaches, didn't have migraines, never once had a problem at all. I've never, and I've had really bad headaches in the past that maybe could be interpreted as migraines, but Tylenol, wipe it out. I wouldn't have any issues. This time around, they are so bad. They are to the point where I can't handle anything. I can't function. I am in so much pain. It physically makes me just be so miserable and upset because I'm in so much pain from these migraines. So with that, it's kind of funny because these migraines, for some reason, they happen more often on the weekends. Like I don't have issues throughout the week, which is great because I have a job to do. I have to be able to work Monday through Friday. So not being able to use my brain because I have such a bad headache isn't very good. So but it still ruins my weekend. Like that completely I would end up just laying down on the couch or in bed the whole entire weekend because I was in so much pain. And that's not, one, I'm an active person. I like to get things done on the weekend and whatnot. So for that to just ruin my weekend, I was not a happy person whatsoever. So I went to the doctor, talked to the doctor about it. They prescribed me some medicine, which I was kind of told it was kind of like Tylenol with caffeine, which just helps the Tylenol get to the migraine faster and help faster. But this stuff is expensive. Like it's $70 a bottle. That's after my insurance kicks in. And these are like gold to me right now, which is great that I only have the migraines show most often during the weekend, so that way I can wait until the weekend and have them on the weekend and not have to use them so much. And since they are expensive, my recommendation is if Tylenol doesn't help you and those basic medicines don't help you, that you talk to your doctor about it, because there's no reason for you to be miserable while you're pregnant. There just isn't. back pains, and like we're going to have certain things that are just going, like you're carrying extra weight around, you're gonna have a baby in your belly, and you're going to, your body's changing. That is okay. But if you're to the point where you can't function, go talk to your doctor. Don't hesitate. If you're worried about chemicals or medicines bothering the baby or whatnot, trust me, they already have vetted a lot of this stuff out, because they don't want a lawsuit, for one. Like, trust me, companies don't want to be involved in a lawsuit when a baby's death is involved in it. So go talk to your doctor, figure out what works best for you. If you can try natural remedies, try those, but don't be miserable. Don't live your whole entire 9 months pregnancy just being completely miserable. Heartburn, honestly, my first pregnancy was not, I didn't have a heartburn issue up until the very end, which makes most sense. That's when the baby's the biggest. That's when it's taking up the most space in your abdomen and is pushing your other organs out. Your stomach's going to be a lot more cramped, hence you're going to have a lot more heartburn. This time around, I've come to find that things actually trigger heartburn for me now. I will have, if I eat too much tomato-based foods or spicy food this time around, I will have heartburn. My first pregnancy, that I lived off of jalapeno poppers. I swear I ate jalapeno poppers practically twice a day when I was pregnant with my first child, which by no means do I think is healthy whatsoever. And therefore I wouldn't suggest doing that, but that's what I did my first pregnancy. I wasn't focused on health my first pregnancy, for one thing, and the other thing, that's what made me feel good, was high fatty foods like deep fried foods and jalapeno poppers. I craved them. I actually craved jalapeno poppers. It was crazy. That's one thing I always wanted. I wanted jalapeno poppers. This time around, not so much. Spicy foods could really trigger it, and I love spicy food, so it's really hard on me when I have to moderate it, or at least try not to eat too much spicy foods when I'm feeling like I'm gonna have heartburn. But anything tomato based also gets to me, which is hard right now because I comfort foods. I like grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup, and I can't have that because the tomato soup gets me heartburn. Salsa can give me heartburn sometimes, things like that. So avoid foods that are going to give you the heartburn. And then I also I have Tums on hand, or I go and borrow, or I either have Tums on hand or I go and have great coworkers who carry Tums around a lot, so I'm able to grab some from them. Heartburn, honestly, it's a hit and miss type situation. It's been a lot more prevalent now than it was with my first pregnancy. I'm guessing it'll probably get worse as I get closer to the end. So Tums, avoid foods that are going to bother you or give you heartburn. Now those are my symptoms. Now I have a lot more symptoms that I could get into, but I don't, like, one, they're not constant symptoms, so you know, I'm not constantly dealing with them. And two, if I am dealing with them, such as acne or, you know, stretch marks and things like that, I don't have a cure for them, so I don't really have something to help you guys out with, because I just deal with it. I just, like, I have stretch marks. I'm going to have stretch marks. I'm a 5 foot nothing tiny little person, and there's no place for the baby to go but out, so I'm gonna have stretch marks. I'm gonna have things like that. If you guys have any recommendation for mothers like me who have stretch marks or who have you know, acne problems and things like that, if you want to post a comment down below telling us what you do to help combat stretch marks and acne and other things that maybe you struggled with during your pregnancy, please comment down below, because I'm pretty sure there's some mothers out there that are just searching for help, some mothers to be searching for help, trying to figure out how to, you know, alleviate some of these symptoms other than just dealing with it. So if you have a symptom that I didn't cover that you was able to, you know, help with. Also, if any of these symptoms bothered you and you did something else that I didn't do, please comment those down below, because again, all pregnancies are different and all people are different, so that what might help me might not help someone else. What someone else might do might not help me, but they might help others. So please comment down below what you did to help alleviate some of these symptoms. And until next time, you guys, I appreciate it. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoy the information. Talk to you next time.